Hello, parents, friends, and educators. My name is Dr. Blissful. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am a former elementary education teacher here to give you tips and tricks on elementary education. I am also the author of Breaking Free of Bullying, the book, where I provide strategies for your kiddos and you to stay safe, happy, and emotionally well. Okay, serious topic today. In my TikTok video, I discussed the um, I'm lost for words. Hold on a second. Okay, so suicide. This is in regards to the article that was recently sent on LinkedIn, where Dr. Bailey out of Lincoln University committed suicide due to harassment and bullying. She did reach out to HR and several other sources to express her deepened depression and anxiety and her relationship with an above colleague, Dr. Mosley, who dismissed everything that she was saying. She has emails to verify this. Sadly, though, she took her life earlier this week, and it completely has triggered me. Bringing back all the feelings that I had when I was going through that at my school district that I was with for 20 years. So, what I would like to do now is provide you some details and some techniques and strategies that you can use if you are suspecting that a loved one is going through a traumatic experience. In the article and in the video, Dr. Bailey's friends and loved ones did discuss that they noticed a change in her last May. It was, however, subtle. Excuse me. She was putting on a facade, which, us people pleasers, educators, those types do, because we don't want others to worry about us. We want to be the caregiver. We want to be the one that helps out. But usually, more often than not, it's those people pleasers, those caregivers that need the help. So there are several things that you can do. First of all, if you do notice changes in your friend or loved one, don't disregard it. Keep an eye on it. So, for example, if they become more introverted, aloof, and more antisocial, I always talk going into hibernation mode. I go into hibernation mode. Um, what you can do is text often and say, "Hey, haven't heard from you. Is everything okay?" If you don't hear back, you know, if you live closely, call, um, go by, you know, um, visit, even if it's unexpected, with some flowers or maybe their favorite type of food, but check in often and have some serious conversations. Now, I noticed with my friend who was going through this a couple of years ago, it was called mobbing. She was in a very toxic and working environment. Very strong woman, very hardworking, but very old school. We're kind of that firm but fair. And they kept accusing her of being unempathetic, which was just a way of they were using that against her, but they were the ones that were being unempathetic. They were calling her out because people would go to HR and complain about her, and they would say, you need to build more empathy, you need to take classes. But yet when she was reaching out, they weren't relaying that same information. They weren't giving her that same release. They weren't empathizing with her situation. So it was kind of like an oxymoron. It was just very counterproductive. And she started going down a shame spiral because you start really confusing yourself. So when you start really deepening that self doubt, it's usually time for you to get out. Um, and it's super hard, especially if you need to pay the rent. She's a single, not married person. It's scary. it's scary to make that move because you're like, well, what the heck? I have all these bills to pay. Um, but you really have to have someone in your support system that's going to help you out. So in my instance, what I said to her, because I had been through it with several people, including myself, I said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to tell them that you are taking a leave of absence. Um, I really wanted her to get into treatment, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. Uh, just knowing her personality. So I said, just take a couple weeks off. Tell them that you're going on leave for mental health, whatever. Use their resources, use your insurance. And I knew she wasn't going to go into treatment. So I said, okay, I want you to use that time to heal, fix your resume, um, do whatever you need to do to get centered and start thinking of the changes that you need to make in your life. But just stay away from those toxic people so that you can get a clear mind. So that is really the most important thing, is getting away from your abusers, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a friend, a boss, um, whatever it may be. You need to distance yourself from that person because they are intimidating and bullying you and brainwashing you into thinking that you're a certain way and you're not. So that's step one. If you were that person, get the hell out of that for a minute or two or 10. And if you're a friend of someone that's in that situation, really stay on them, encourage them. How are you doing? Check in often. If they're not responding, then you need to show up at their place, even if they don't like it, which they probably won't, because when you're in hibernation mode, you don't really want to talk to anybody, right? You can barely get out of bed. Two, you want to, I put some links in the description that you could talk to, get somebody to talk to immediately. You need an unbiased person also to give you clarity and give you direction on the steps that you need to take. If you need to get legal counsel to do that as well, then do it. Um, right when you're in the middle of crisis, it's so easy to overload on monetary factors and getting stuck there. How am I going to pay for this? You really just need sound advice. See, click the links for the mental health hotlines. It's national. And also, if you need to get legal counsel, do that, because I noticed when I got legal counsel, it empowered me because it gives you leverage, because you need somebody on your side. And right now, if you're in a situation with the workplace, you're not feeling empowered. You're feeling like you're getting smaller and smaller, like a little child, and you have no options. So the more that you have options, the freer you will become. It's the people that commit suicide that feel like they have no other options is when they really turn to suicide. So you really need to provide your friend, yourself with options. Legal counsel, mental health, therapist, friends. Don't talk to anybody that's going to squash your feelings. You need to surround yourself with people that are going to love you unconditionally, support you, no matter what the hell it is. Um, whether it's monetary, whether it's emotional, whether they need to, come and live with you for a minute. These are the things that we have to do to support our loved one who's in crisis, because it's really hard to get them out of that rabbit hole that you fall into. Okay, so we're gonna, oh, and then third, if you can, I've put some links into some treatment centers that you can go to if you have the insurance. Some I will look up, some that are more based on your income. I cannot speak to these treatment centers, whether they work or not. I've only been to Casa Palmera. I've also been in College Hospital, in Cerritos, California, but that's when it was more independent. I think it's state run now, back when I had an eating disorder, and they were very good. I don't know how they are now. I can only speak to Casa Palmera for myself and my child, who went there as well. It was an amazing experience. Yes, you're going to get people that are going to go on there and say it's crap, it's shit. So you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because those people, if they're, because they do treat for addictions, they are going to bash it, especially if you're not mentally ready to go to a treatment center like that, especially if you're an addict. You kind of make excuses. That's different than depression and anxiety. And I don't have a whole lot of experience with addiction, so that's a whole different avenue. But I can only speak to my personal experience, that it was very good. It's what you put into, like anything else. If you work the program, if you're there to really get help and work on yourself and be vulnerable, then it's going to be work well for you. There are a lot of rules and restrictions that people don't like, but it's for your own good and your own safety. So, those are some ways to really help a loved one who is struggling with depression and anxiety, maybe an eating disorder, addiction, but especially in the workplace, if they're bullying, you definitely need to get out of that environment. Okay, so to recap, check in on your loved ones, text them often. If they're not answering, call. If they don't answer your calls, then you need to show up. Show up at their house unannounced, bang on the door, and just stay with them. You need to make sure that they're okay, because if they're not texting and answering you, um, especially after a couple days, that's worrisome, especially if you've noticed a change in their behavior. The second thing is you want to surround yourself with people that are positive and that are going to support you. You also want to call the treatment centers, the hotlines, and get legal counsel, especially if you're in a workplace. Again, legal counsel, keep calling until you find someone that resonates with you, because when you have legal counsel on your side who is understanding your situation, you can take a breath and feel like you're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, that you indeed have a serious issue. And that's what you need. You need somebody around you who loves you, but you also need somebody around you to empower you. And usually if that means taking legal action, you slowly but surely start getting your power back. And then the third option is to check treatment centers. Now, again, I can't speak to any of the other treatment centers. I have only been to Casa Palmera. It was a life changer for me. It was a life changer for my daughter. Um, it's very scary if you are especially single and you don't know how you're going to make your bills. But but trust me, if you believe in the process and you believe in God or the universe or whatever it is, it will all work out and people will rise to the occasion to help you. Okay, that is all I have for today. Please check the links and the numbers in the description. Reach out if you have comments. I can help you. I'm not a doctor of mental health. I'm only a PhD in education. So I can't really help you fix the situation. I can lead you to resources. I can listen to you. I'm not a therapist, but I can lead you to some. If you need to vent, vent. I'm a really good listener. I've been there. So if this was beneficial to you, and you could also check my TikTok at Dr. Blissful. If this was helpful to you, please like and subscribe for more interventions on bullying as well as teacher strategies. Until then, today I'm feeling blissfully blessed that I'm not in that place anymore at this moment. But I know some of you are, and I'm hoping that this reaches to you or a friend that loves you and values you and wants you here because you're important and you are enough. You're enough. You are enough. So please, if you feel that you are struggling right now with depression, anxiety, especially because you're in a toxic workplace, please reach out to your friends. Please reach out to those that are going to listen to you. Reach out to me. Reach out to a help advocate, reach out to a lawyer to help you. And you are enough. You are important. And especially if you're in education, we need you. Those kiddos need you. Um, until then, Shaka, we love you. I love you. You are enough. And we will see you on the flip side.